I'm Steve Nessel, the marketing manager for Yamaha. We're out here in Enza, California at the Ranch Motocross Park to introduce the all-new 2014 YFZ450R. We recently moved production of this vehicle from Japan to the US. It's now coming off the production line in Noonan, Georgia. It's got all new suspension settings, we have new ergonomics, we have improved engine performance. Took this opportunity to actually get some media on the seat of this thing, turn some fast laps. We actually have our pro racers out here today too, so it's a launch for the new machine, and we're looking forward to getting word of it out into the marketplace.
The YFZ450R is actually the second generation YFZ that we've built. And actually you could consider the 2014 model the third generation because we've made several improvements to this model. When we first introduced the original YFZ450 in 2003, we were targeting more of a recreational customer and less a track-focused customer. With the YFZ450R, we put a big emphasis on the racetrack.
The changes that Yamaha made to the new YFZ450R were impacted through racing. We learned a lot by just putting a ton of time on the bike.
For the 2014 model YFZ450R, we actually transferred the production of this model from our facility in Japan to our Noonan, Georgia manufacturing. So what that allowed us to do is make several improvements to the model over an already amazing machine. Some of those changes revolve around the overall ergonomics of the machine. So we've changed the styling. We were able to push the front fenders forward. We were able to push the rear fender back. We were able to actually lower the fenders themselves. The other thing we're able to do is actually cover the frame rail down here. What that does is it provides kind of a smooth transition for the rider's knees. Keeps it off the frame and keeps you from crashing into the front fenders. So really big improvement for the overall comfort. The other thing is the suspension settings. We focus real heavily on improving the kind of the low speed, small bump performance without sacrificing any of the bottoming. So I'm just making a really big improvement in the overall comfort. Another area that goes a long ways to improving the overall comfort and handling is the tires. These are new Maxxis tires, and what we were able to focus on was improving the comfort, improving the precise handling, and improving the overall traction and sliding characteristic. So the tires make a really big difference in the overall handling. The other thing, of course, is the engine. We wanted more power, more performance. So we increased the compression ratio, changed the cam timing, changed the overall cylinder head itself and the fuel injection setting. What that does is it gives us a better hit feeling and a better power character for the racetrack. Other areas that we made improvements on was in the clutch. We've got an all-new clutch in the YFZ450R. We call it an ANS clutch. What this clutch does is it has an assist feature. So we have basically a 25% lighter clutch pull, which again just makes it that much easier to ride longer on the racetrack. The other benefit of this clutch is a slipper function. What that does is it allows the clutch to actually slip slightly when you're going into the corners. What that does is in the braking bumps, it allows the suspension to move more freely and absorb those bumps. So again, increasing your lap times, making you just that much faster going around the track.
Been riding with Yamaha since I was 16 years old. Definitely always stuck with the brand. They always had great support for me, and I always knew the bike could come through and just be a championship bike. Obviously it's been putting me up towards the front of the pack ever since then, winning Pro-Am championships and even taking me to national wins. So I know the bike has what it has to take, and I'm proud to be part of the family.
This year's subtle changes in ergonomics and styling do indeed build upon the YFZR's already excellent comfort. The smoothed out seat to rear fender transition makes moving around easier when riding aggressively, providing a more seamless feel across the back of the machine. The revised side covers covering the forward part of the upper frame rails feel far better on the knees when you tuck forward and in for tight turns. Taller riders will also appreciate the more spacious cockpit.
You feel like you're in a good riding position at all times on the bike, and I think that goes towards what Yamaha set out to do and build a bike that you can ride faster, harder, and longer on with less fatigue.
The sandy track produced less traction and more rolling resistance than the clay-based tracks we are accustomed to. This made fully appreciating Yamaha's motor changes more difficult. We felt the power level and delivery were very similar to previous models, which is a good thing considering Yamaha was partially working to overcome more stringent EPA requirements for 2014. The YFZ4 has a smooth progressive power band and continues building power as you feed it the gas. It never really hits or explodes at a given RPM, although it is willing to rip the rear tires loose when you grab a handful. Low end power is good, although like most 450s, it feels a little jittery lugging the engine, unlike the Raptor 700, which will happily idle around. The YFZ4 is a trail-worthy machine, but aside from the EPA restrictions, it has a race motor with excellent throttle response and a willingness to rev quickly. It pulls smoothly and strongly from the upper bottom end up into the top end, tapering off before the rev limiter kicks in. We had the chance to ride a fully decked out GYTR equipped model with all of Yamaha's available internal and external performance parts. We found it to be extremely potent, yet surprisingly rideable. We suspect that the 2014 will be much like the 2013, and simply adding Yamaha's GYTR exhaust and power commander will make the machine considerably faster and easier to ride than stock, providing all of the power that most local racers will require. The ANS clutch performed as advertised, providing a reduction in the amount of pressure needed to pull in the clutch. 1 or 2 fingers is all you need to pull the lever in throughout a long moto. The slipper function of the clutch was a little less dramatic than we expected, which is a good thing if you like using engine braking to your advantage. Riders who've used Hinson Racing slipper clutch assembly feel that the Yamaha clutch doesn't offer the same level of engine braking reduction. The Sand offers a small loss in engine braking due to less traction and more rolling resistance. We believe the additional traction of a clay-based track will better demonstrate the slipper effect and benefit of the ANS clutch, something we'll explore in greater detail when we get our long-term test unit. Yamaha went in the right direction with their suspension this year. We felt the shocks offered good adjustability in the past, although their overall action was a little on the firm side, and frankly, it still is. If you like your suspension to feel firm and crisp, then you'll still like the YFZ4 shocks. Riders who wanted more plushness through chop, braking, and acceleration bumps in the past will be a little happier with this year's suspension. What's better is their enhanced small bump absorption comes with no detectable drawbacks. They continue to offer good bottoming resistance and keep body roll well under control during aggressive cornering. Beyond enhancing the performance of the stock 2014, the new shocks had no problem standing up to the fully upgraded GYTR motor. Riders in the 170 to 210 pound range could easily be competitive at most local races with these shocks. Try setting them up before you spend $2,500 on aftermarket shocks. You might be surprised how good they are. Stability on the YFZ4 is rock solid, with its track spec 48.8 inch width and 50 inch wheelbase. It launches straight out of the hole and off of jumps. High speed stability is good, even in the rough stuff, and it feels planted in turns, even with its stock 20 inch rear tires. 18 inch rear tires are the standard size for motocross. The YFZ450R is the only second generation 450cc machine in existence. The updates to the 2014 model represent a higher level of refinement for Yamaha's second generation machine than any other manufacturer has made to their first generation machine. If you're considering buying a 46-inch wide model and widening it out for the track, that'll set you back at least $2,500 in chassis and suspension parts. Purchasing and widening a used machine may wind up costing you more in the end than buying a brand new YFZ450R. Based on over a year's worth of hard riding on a previous model, we can attest to the robust build quality of this machine. The new clutch is the only part of the machine that hasn't seen long-term testing, although we don't expect any issues from it.
One of the many advantages of the YFZ4 that I've noticed throughout all the different manufacturers that I've rode for is definitely got to be the reliability of the machine. And to be honest with you, I actually haven't been had a DNF since I've been on the machine.
In conclusion, Yamaha is leaving the competition in the dust with the 2014 YFZ450R. Their dedication to continuously improving and updating the YFZ gives repeat customers a reason to justify buying a new machine. Their constant progression also gives disgruntled loyalists from other brands a reason to jump ship and ride blue in 2014.